What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Screen Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of Preacher, Season 2, Episode 11, titled Backdoors. Alright, so it was another slow episode, not a lot happening, but still entertaining. These characters are so entertaining and so intriguing and just so out there that even when there's not a lot of action, or even when the story isn't really propelled forward very much, it's still an entertaining experience for the most part. Alright. So we start off with Jesse and Tulip, I don't want to say digging up, but pulling the armored car with the Saint of Killers, supposedly, out of the swamp. They open the door and the Saint of Killers is not in there. Now we find out where he is at the end of the episode. I might as well just talk about that now. So basically the Grail already pulled that armored car out and replaced it with a fake armored car, a dummy armored car. And they had the Saint of Killers still prisoned in a warehouse. At the end, we see Hoover, who we don't know what his secret mission is the whole episode. He's supposed to be like the last resort. We see him open the doors to the real armored car and say, no hard feelings, do what you do, blah, blah, blah. Now, I guess the significance of how stupid was it that Tulip thought that she'd be able to mail 2 guns and a sword, especially wrapped up like that. So I take it that the male person, I think it was a woman, got the weapons. She probably works for the Grail or whatever, or they retrieve the weapons from her. And I imagine they're going to give the Saint of Killers back his weapons. But maybe not. Maybe he's not going to have them, and that'll make it a little bit more interesting that he doesn't have his killing machines now, while, not his killing machines. He is the killing machine, right? But his weapons of destruction, we'll call them. He doesn't have those. Well, if he doesn't get those back, that would be interesting to see him going after Jesse and crew without them. I'm sure he's still quite formidable, but still it would make it a fair fight, let's say, right? Which is always more entertaining for the viewers. Well, not always more entertaining, but sometimes. All right. So, so that's something we got to look forward to till, I guess, the next episode or the following. But let's just finish talking about this episode a little bit. I kind of got ahead of myself. All right, so we get Jesse in this episode realizing that the weird dog person, might actually have been God. And it got me thinking while I'm watching it, like, dog spelled backwards is God, duh. I don't know why I didn't pick that up the first time that whole scene came around, But, so he has visions to crazy Jesus's, what's his name? Humperdinck? Something like Humperdew? To his sketches of a dog. And he's remembering what the I don't know, what Archbishop and the Pope had said about, the Messiah knowing where God can be found. So, and then I guess Dennis's new dog got him thinking, putting all these puzzle pieces, right? That comes up again, together, and he comes to the realization that dog person is God. So now at this point, there's an even bigger rift, the biggest rift we've seen yet between Tulip, Cassidy, and Jesse. They refuse to go with him. He goes and basically finds nothing. It's like the place is cleared out. Like they're not doing that anymore. Or maybe they have that night off or whatever it is. But now he can't find God, and he thinks that he failed a test. He thinks that he missed his only chance at finding God or meeting God, and he feels pretty shitty about it. Then later in the episode, Airstar is trying to recruit Jesse as the new Messiah, and one of the ways he does that is by showing him that they can help each other. Jesse's been, his whole life asking for forgiveness, praying for forgiveness, and Airstar's basically giving him a chance to, make right. He tells him you could walk 100 ladies across the street every day for 100 years and it still wouldn't free you. But I'm giving you an opportunity that maybe free you, giving you a larger purpose. And he does this by playing tapes of all of Jesse's prayers. Now, how does he have tapes of every single prayer? That's beyond me. We don't know if the Grail uses any, at least, in the show at this point, we don't know if the Grail uses any type of magic or supernatural powers, if they have any super access to anything supernatural. We don't know that. As far as we know at this point, they're people. They're just people who have a wide net of access through various different things, right? So there's some just huge organization. That's all we know of them at this point. So how would they obtain tapes of every single prayer Jesse's ever made? Some of those prayers were in private, whatever. That beats me. I don't know if we'll get answers to that. Preacher doesn't seem like a show that's really going to be so much about answering little things like that as much as it is presenting those strange occurrences and questions, whatever. All right. So that's pretty much all we got from, Jesse's part of the episode. I mean, that's really all. I mean, we learned that the guns, Tulip tries to melt them down and they won't melt down. And if you saw my videos on the Saint of Killers Explained, I explained why they won't melt down. I'll do a quick summary of just that here, but you can always check out those videos. It's a two-parter there on the channel. Saint of Killers Explained, part 1, part 2. One's about his backstory, one's about his powers and weapons and stuff. So basically, the guns are forged from the Angel of Death's sword. So, they're supernatural in nature. They come from a higher power, probably made of some precious, rare, indestructible metal we don't know of, whatever. That's why they won't melt down. That's why they can't be destroyed. And the reason why Tulip can't fire them, they can't open them, whatever, because only the Saint of Killer can use them. They're basically coded to him. Nobody else can use them at all. So there you go. And the sword too is, I don't think it was forged from the Angel of Death, but it's, it's on some supernatural shit, the sword, as far as what it can cut and all that, All right. So that's why Tulip couldn't melt them down. I already commented on her mailing them. I thought that was really stupid. Preacher does that. They do these stupid things that kind of take me out of it and take me out of the realism of the show, because at times it feels like it's very realistic and very grounded, and then like silly things like this happen, and or like Tulip killing a guy in like the first episode or whatever with an ear of corn, like stuff like that. It just pulls me out, and I don't like it, plain and simple. So I didn't like that. There you go. Then we get Cassidy and Dennis. I don't see things going well for these two. Dennis is very defiant. He seems to think differently than Cassidy as far as being a vampire. And that's why I guess that dude Cassidy, what's his temperament like? Because, it takes a special kind of person to have that much power and have restraint. Either a special type of person or just years and years and years, centuries maybe even, of practice. And Dennis just doesn't seem to want to do that. He's like, why don't you just take her? Talking about Tulip, that's what we do. We take. And, him and Cassidy just are like this right now. And more than just father-son bumping heads, to the point where I think Cassidy's now starting to regret giving Dennis that much power. And I ultimately think it's going to come down to them having to face off and Cassidy having to kill Dennis. Maybe that'll happen this season. I think it'll be even more interesting if Dennis kind of like runs away on some crazed vampire shit. Maybe even creates other vampires, like crazed vampires, and we get like a season of that, I think that would be awesome. Just so you know, that is not in the book, the vampire apocalypse and all that. So, that would be exclusive to the show, and I just think that would be awesome. But chances are they'll wrap up that storyline this season, and there we go. Now, before this is over, I have to talk about Jesse's flashback. So in that crate with the tube and all that, that's like, complete torture. Now, that's his grandmother. That's his mother's mother. So that's grandmother, what's her name? All right, it escapes me. It's like some French sounding name. And she is a character. Wait till you meet that family. I'm sure they're going to be either a player at the end of this season. There's only 2 episodes left or whatever. Or they're going to be a major player next season. I'm banking on both. They'll probably be introduced this season and be a major player next season. Much how her star was introduced. Was he introduced at the end of season 1? I don't know. Yeah, he was introduced in season 1. Maybe not at the end, but they had the dude in the white suit. That was her star. All right. So this was a good episode. Again, not a lot happened, but there's some some good revelations if you pay attention. Some really good character moments as far as Jesse and his feelings towards missing his opportunity to find God. And, again, with the group being pulled apart more, there was some good stuff with Cassidy and Dennis too. So, and the ARE star shoving the tape up his ass, that was good. Funny stuff. We're gonna get a lot of stuff like that from her star. Now, that's a thing about this character. He's a badass character and he's very interesting, but this story is going to treat ARE star like a straight up just a means of torture. So you haven't seen nothing yet when it comes to this guy. All right, that's all I got for this one. Sound off down below. Let me know what you thought about Preacher Season 2, Episode 11. Sorry, I feel like I'm rushing through the last 2, even though they've both been over 10, 12 minutes. But, I'm playing catch up now because of the new job and everything. So thank you so much for bearing with me. Please continue to bear with the channel while I work out a good schedule for everybody involved so I can take care of the kids, and produce these videos for you as well. All right, yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Always appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I haven't said that in a while. Helps out the channel. Helps out my morale. Yeah, keep those comments coming. Thank you so much for watching. I think I just said that. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.